Hello and welcome to today's spooky story for Halloween. Today I'm going to tell you a story about my son who never believed that the house was haunted. My other house was haunted. Now what's interesting about that is he experienced a good number of things, but he just is in total denial, basically. And when I tell you the last story, I won't tell that story today, but you'll be asking yourself why he didn't believe, given what he had seen and what he had heard and what he had felt. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you a story today about Mr. Christmas. Back a while ago, I had gotten a Mr. Christmas ski slope. And it wasn't the Santa slope. It was more like the slalom slope that they sell today. But on mine, it just went up, and then the skiers would go over and come down. They didn't like wind or anything like that. They just went up, and then they went down. So this particular product, it did not take batteries. It only ran if you plugged it in. And we used to plug it in at Christmas, and then we would unplug it. And this particular year, about a month had gone by after Christmas, and it was still out because it had gotten forgotten in the putting away of all of the Christmas things. So it was sitting on the ledge of my piano. I have a baby grand piano that used to sit in my living room there. Now it sits in my living room here. But that baby grand piano has a folding ledge that comes down over the keys, and it was sitting on there. And its plug was wrapped up and sitting next to it. One day, Bradley comes home, and he comes into the house, and he hears that ski slope going off, the slalom ski slope, or whatever they called it. And he walks into the living room where this was, and he sees my son sitting in a chair near it. And this Mr. Christmas thing is going off. People are going up and coming down the slalom hill. And he looks at my son and he says, "Do you see that?" And this is my oldest son, by the way. And my oldest son says, "Yeah, it's been doing that for a couple of weeks." And Bradley went over to it and picked up the plug and showed it to him and said, "This can't possibly happen because it only works if it's plugged in." And when Bradley touched the machine to pick up the plug, it stopped. And Kurt said, "Well, I just figured somebody must have been plugging it in," but it hadn't been plugged in. It had been sitting there with the plug balled up next to it to be put away in storage. So even in the face of evidence right there in front of him, the plug was balled up next to him, the machine was going off, and it didn't take batteries, and on top of that you had to actually flip a switch to turn it on. He still denied. Keep on to that thought, because in a few days I'll tell you another story about something he experienced there that was undeniable. And he still doesn't believe. That's today's story. And if you liked today's story, please come back tomorrow for a new story. And please hit the plus button so that I can get to the 1,000 followers I need to be able to go live. And hit the like button. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.